At least a dozen different families booking a Madison fencing company found themselves out thousands of dollars in deposits. The owner of the company, meanwhile, has a response.
Good girl.
Annalise Cannon's family of 4 is new to Cambridge.
Vila.
Their half-acre home and surrounding neighborhood, almost perfect for the pups.
We got the sod laid. As you can see, we've done some work on the grass and planting some, but we're waiting for a fence.
That wait is at 6 months now after a $5,000 deposit to Ideal Fence of Madison and an agreed-upon July start date.
Eventually, we just stopped really hearing from him.
And that fence, not all Annalise is waiting for these days.
We found out in July that we are going to have our first baby, so due in April. It really hurts, especially with a new baby on the way, and all that money is tied up in this company, so we can't, go to another place.
What have I got? We have 3 large dogs. We have a Rottweiler, a Pit Bull, and a Rottweiler mix. Ready?
Heather Sullivan has a similar story. Searching for fencing to accommodate her new shed.
Every time we want to get into the backyard or access things, we have to take off the ratchet straps and then lay the fence down.
She paid $1,000 to book Ideal Fence in spring. The experience since, less than.
So we waited, and then end of September rolls around, October rolls around, nothing.
Hi, Scott, this is Leah. If you could give me a call back.
It took us a while.
We're trying to get a hold of your neighbors. Have you seen them at all lately?
But we were able to track down Ideal owner Scott Bronson.
Hello, this is Scott.
Some of your customers are so frustrated they can't get a hold of you. They came to us to fix it.
Being in the hospital was the main reason. I was unable to communicate with anybody.
Scott claims COVID kept him out of business for 8 weeks. Doctors even intubating him over the summer.
When you wake up, you can't walk, you can't move your arms, you're all tied down and the tube down your throat.
Scott declines to provide a specific timeline for his hospitalization. He says he had no one else in business with him to keep in contact with customers.
We are not, ever going to take somebody's money and run. I was born and raised here in Madison. I've been putting in fences since 1985. I'm not going nowhere, and I apologize from the bottom of my heart.
Scott also says he can't give Heather or Annalise a refund until he can sell their materials, but he can't provide a timeline for when that will happen either.
Do you think it would be the right thing to do, though, to just front that money right now, give them back their money, and then get yourself paid back by selling their materials later, just to, take care of these cases?
Yeah, that would be the perfect scenario, except for the fact that all my business money is tied up in all that material. I need to sell that material first.
We did some digging into online court records and found roughly a dozen recent small claims cases against Ideal Fence.
Yeah, that's when I started to be a little bit less lenient about him being sick, which I feel for. But when I started seeing a lot of reviews on Google, Yelp, Facebook, Better Business Bureau saying this guy, took our deposit, and then we stopped hearing from him in around the same time we did.
Meanwhile, Annalise is still waiting as they prepare to welcome a new family member.
Knowing there's a baby on the way, thinking about what if I fall because it's icy and we're walking the dogs, when an easy solution would be to just have a fence.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Now, we have an update this morning to that call for action by Annalise. Call for action, taking action. We talked with a new fencing company, Struck & Irwin, here in Madison. They agreed to get Annalise in right away and give her $1,000 off her bill.
We knew we had a family that was in a bit of a pinch, both from a timeline standpoint, a financial standpoint, and just to watch the Struck & Irwin team come together was great, from material purchasing, from scheduling, and actually getting the fence in the ground.
The fence now complete.
There it is.
Just in time for winter. Thanks again to Struck & Irwin there. They really stepped up. We can't thank them enough for their help with Annalise's case. By the way, we are still working with Scott Bronson of Ideal Fence to get both Annalise and Heather their deposits back. We'll be bringing you that update as soon as we get it. And if you're in the market for some home improvement, we have a few reminders from the Better Business Bureau. A couple that really stood out to us right here on your screen. Ask for references. The contractor should have a list of local customers who can vouch for them. Then verify their license and their insurance. We have a link on channel3000.com for you to check that. And arrange a payment schedule. Don't ever pay up front. If you're putting a deposit down like these folks did, use a credit card. That might provide some protection if the work doesn't get done.
Yeah, kind of disappointing that this is what it's come to hire a contractor these days, but those are all really useful steps that really you got to do if you want to guarantee that you're going to have a reputable contractor, pretty much.
You really do have to do your legwork. There's quite a list of advice out there. We compiled all of it into a checklist for you, so you can go through it next time you book a contractor, regardless of whether it's for a fence or some other sort of home improvement project. You can download that over on channel3000.com.